Hi, Andy XL, back with another FIFA 2026 World Cup podcast. And we're on to day 15 of the tournament now. We've gone through halfway of the games being played, which might surprise people, but obviously there's much more games in the group stages than in the knockout stages. So we're past the halfway mark in terms of games played. So look, what did we find out on day 14? Well, we saw Group A wins from Mexico to keep them as one of the 7 teams in the tournament with perfect records, and they await to see which third place team they play at the Azteca in the round of 32. And a surprise win for South Africa over South Korea vaults them into the runners-up spot and means Bafana will now play Canada in the round of 32. And that will be at Inglewood in Los Angeles rather than at Vancouver in Canada. So Canada have lost home advantage by not winning their group. South Korea, after their loss to South Africa, are now on the bubble in terms of making it through as a third place team, whilst the loss to Mexico sends the Czechs home. The Canadians suffered their first defeat of the tournament at the hands of Switzerland, so the Swiss progress as group winners and Canada as runners up. And like I say, that means they've lost home advantage in terms of playing in Vancouver. The Swiss will await a third place team in the next round, and that game will be played in Vancouver. Bosnia and Herzegovina also got the win they needed over Qatar in Group B, and as the clouds begin to clear over the best third place team scene, they are now guaranteed to be one of the best third place teams and go through to the round of 32. They will play either Germany or USA in the next round. In Group C, Brazil took advantage of a poor and error-prone showing from Scotland to ease to a 3-0 win and takes top spot in this section, with Morocco twice having to come from behind to overcome Haiti 4-2 and take the runners-up spot. Brazil will now play the Group F runners-up, which will be Netherlands, Japan or Sweden in the round of 32, and Morocco get whichever of these three emerges group winners. Whatever transpires in Group F, those two games look to be really good ones to watch in the round of 32. Scotland, after their heavy defeat to Brazil, complete Group C on 3 points and a -3 goal difference, and now look very unlikely to progress as one of the best third place teams. They're going to need help from other teams. It's certainly much less than a 50% chance they go through. Um, Haiti emerged with some credit but no points from this group and will be leaving on a jet plane. So, Group E today, Group E, F, and D are completed in that order, which is why I haven't put in the alphabetical order. So E first, then F, then D. In Group E, Germany have already won the group, but second and third are still up for grabs. In Group F, Tunisia have been eliminated, but the other three teams could still finish in any order. And as I said earlier, once that's finished, we'll know who meets Brazil and who meets Morocco in what could be good round the 32 clashes. In Group D, the USA have won the group and Turkey have been eliminated, leaving in Paraguay and Australia deciding who finishes second and third. Right, let's have a look at Group E first, seeing as that's the one that gets underway first. And Ecuador versus Germany. Having won the group, Germany could decide to rotate their squad for the game with Ecuador, who will make the last 32 with a win in this game. So Ecuador have to win basically to have a chance of making the last 32. The Germans have now won their last 11 games, scoring 37, conceding 8, and will be keen to make it a dozen here regardless of who starts. Ecuador actually finished second in South American qualifying, 1 point ahead of 4 teams, one of which was Brazil, by the by, but only scored 14 goals in their 18 qualification games and drawing 8 of those games. And they failed to score in the first 2 games of this competition, something that will have to change if they have to go any further in this tournament. Excuse my throat, quick sip of coffee. So Ecuador's road to success is via a rock solid defence and squeaking in the odd goal or two, and that's probably what they'll try and do here. But I have to fancy the Germans and will take them to win this 1 or 2-0. Right, this other game in this group, Curacao versus the Ivory Coast. The Ivorians only need a draw to secure second place in the group, whilst the Curaçaoans have to win to have any chance of progressing. And even, yeah, This will be the first time the Ivorians go into a game in this tournament as the clear favourites, and they will need to deal with having to make the play more than they have had in the first two games. And for instance, we saw how difficult England found that against Ghana, so maybe Ivory Coast are going to face the same issues here. But are Curacao as good defensively as Ghana? I doubt it. Curacao may have done really well to bounce back from the thrashing the Germans gave them to get a goalless draw against Ecuador, but I've already said how Ecuador struggle to score generally, and that is not the case with the Ivory Coast, who scored 25 goals in 10 qualification games against teams of a similar standard to Curacao. So I don't see any dream come true story here, I'm afraid. I'd love to say that there is going to be one, and maybe there will, but I don't see it happening. I see the Ivory Coast winning this 2 or 3 nil. So Group F next. And that's Netherlands versus Tunisia is one of the games today. Already top of the group, the Netherlands take on the already eliminated Tunisians, and we're hoping for a big win to ensure they progress as group winners. And again, they may be tempted to do some rotation, but I doubt it because they'll want to win the group. They were very impressive against Sweden, and in qualification, they scored an impressive 27 goals in 8 games and 25 in the 6 games that were against the weaker teams in the group. So they have been good piling on the goals against weaker opposition. Tunisia may choose to give game time to players that have not had much, given they are already eliminated. So that could be in the Netherlands' favour too. So I can see a second consecutive 4-0 loss come in the way of the African team here, as the Netherlands build on their strong performance against Sweden and maybe begin to creep into contention as a potential winner of this tournament. The other game is probably far more competitive. Japan versus Sweden. Sweden cannot lose this game by more than a goal or two and expect to qualify, whilst Japan only need a point to take second place in this group. I've said since before the tournament that Japan are an underrated team and they are rightly favourites to win this game. They have won 8 and drawn 1 of their last 9 games and kept clean sheets in 6 of their last 7, so Sweden will do well to break them down here. And as demonstrated against the Netherlands, the Swedes are far better going forward than in defence and have not kept a clean sheet in their last 13 games. They actually finished bottom of their qualification group but got into the playoffs via the Nations League, on an average conceded 2 goals a game through qualification and the playoffs. So with Japan good in defence, Sweden good on attack, overall, I think Japan are the better team, so I'm taking them to win this one, but Sweden will have enough attacking threat to cause them problems. Japan to win 2-1 is my prediction. For Group D next, Paraguay versus Australia is the live game in this group. A draw might be enough to take Paraguay through and will be enough for Australia, as they would qualify as runners-up, while a draw would leave Paraguay having to hope 4 points and a -2 goal difference would be enough to take them through, which it almost certainly will be. So the onus is more on Paraguay to win this game, and a loss for either team may eliminate Australia and will eliminate Paraguay in all likelihood. If this game is a draw at the second half hydration stroke ad break, I'm going to call them ad breaks from now on, I think, because that's what they are, both teams may well settle for that result. Paraguay, like Ecuador, got through South American qualifying by not conceding goals, just 10 allowed in 18 games. So we'll surely look to put the clamps on the Aussies here and hope to edge a narrow win. Australia finished second behind Japan in qualification, scoring 16 and conceding just 7 against some modest opposition apart from Japan and Saudi Arabia. With neither team likely to score many, this looks likely to be a tight affair. And given that both teams did a snatch and grab job on Turkey to get their wins, despite Turkey dominating possession and shots on target, etc., but they were both outplayed by the Americans. I think they may cancel each other out here, and the game finishes 0-0 or 1-1, which, like I say, is the draw that possibly suits both teams. The USA are guaranteed group winners, and Turkey may both make changes for their game for differing reasons. But the Americans will be full of themselves, whereas the dejected Turks may not be able to get this game over with quick enough. Turkey are better than the results in this tournament, and the Americans may not have great squad depth. But given the differing levels of morale in both camps, I'll still take the USA to win this by 2 goals to 1. Germany and the Ivory. So as a result, then Germany and the Ivory Coast qualify from Group E, but both Ecuador and Curacao are eliminated. Netherlands and Japan go through from Group F, with Sweden hoping for a third place qualification place. USA and Australia progress from Group D, with Paraguay very near the front of the queue for third place qualification spots. So that's how I see it panning out in on today's action. I'm going to come back with another piece shortly on Bonnie Scotland. After their setback last night, what help do they need to get through to the next round? So I'm going to come back with that very soon. See you later.